First off, thank you so much for being here. This is really kind of a dream come true for me. I started my business a little over 3 years ago, and I'm here giving a talk to a bunch of other entrepreneurs, which I love being around, is really incredible for me. So first off, thank you for being here. This means everything to me, and I want to thank Startup Virginia as well. It's been great to get to know Sonia and the rest of the people here. So it's great to be in this. Isn't this space awesome? This place is like super cool. Like definitely want to be hanging out on the porch later because the weather is great and we're not freezing. So thank God for that. Again, thank you so much for being here. A few just housekeeping items, I guess. If anyone needs to leave early, get up and leave. I won't be offended. I'll just never forget your face and I'll hunt you down later. That's okay. But no, seriously, get up and leave. If you got somewhere to go, no problem with that as well. There are a couple handouts as well that you have. One is just a free PDF that I have on my website that I thought you guys would find interesting. Another one has a couple boxes on it, and that's one that at a certain point in the talk you can kind of fill out as a talk. If not, you can do whatever you like with it as well. My business cards are up front as well if you didn't get those. If not, please grab me. I'd love to meet every single one of you. I'd love to get lunch and get coffee with you guys. I'm really relational with my business, so please introduce yourself to me if I don't get to you, so please do come up to me. I would really, really appreciate that. So again, thank you so much. I'm going to give a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. So we are going to do, first we're going to talk about story and storytelling, and then we'll have a quick little break to talk about, I'll take questions at that point regarding what I've just talked about. And then we're going to have a little transition to video marketing and video marketing strategies. And we'll take questions for that afterwards. So how does this sound? Sound good? Yeah? Sounds great. Okay, awesome. So welcome. Hi, my name is Taylor Quinn. Who is this guy? It's kind of like a first date. You know, you don't really know me, right? You want to know kind of my story. You don't want to jump in yet. I get that. Cool. It's all right. No worries. So a little bit about me. I'm a Northern Virginia native, recovering Northern Virginia native. Anyone else from the 703 or Fairfax County? I'm sorry, the traffic's terrible. I remember having to get on 66 every morning and take like 30 to 40 minutes just to get to high school, so this is home now. I've been in Richmond for about 4.5 years, and I love it. So it's great to be here in Richmond. I went to Christopher Newport University. Any other captains in the room? Woo! Yes, we got a couple. Good, love that. Go Captains. Graduated in 2013. I was a communication major and a minor in philosophy and religious studies, which in a weird way is a little bit of what I'm doing today, is communicating, but with a thoughtfulness behind it. And I just got married. Thank you. I got married on January 5th. So if anyone has free marital advice, I'm taking it right now. And is anyone, seriously, does anyone have a good quick tip? Anyone? Yes.
Separate bathroom.
Separate bathroom. Oh man, if only the apartment could accommodate that. That's great. Well, that's a little bit about me. A little bit of my education, my background. So I moved to Richmond. So I worked at CNU after I graduated for a year for the president of the university. And then I moved to Richmond in August of 2014 and worked for a small marketing firm that we did everything. We did video, we did photos, we built websites, we did Google advertising, we were a Google partner, we did SEO, you name it, we did it. My job at the company I was with was kind of the account manager. So I managed all of our clients' SEO strategies and managed all of their pay-per-click advertising through Google. I got certified as a paid advertiser through Google and all that kind of good stuff. But I've always had a big passion for filmmaking and for telling stories and for video. And so I decided that I really, really wanted to keep learning more about video and just dive into that world. So one quick side note, I left the marketing firm to work in the banking industry for a trade association for about 2 months, and then I got let go. So what does anyone do when they get let go from their job, right? They start a new company, right? That's what I did. So, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that same story, right? You were not feeling the 9 to 5, so you went and started your own thing, which is, I totally relate to that. So good for you, keep going. So I started Filmspire. So what is Filmspire? Our mission is to create films that inspire action. You see, we want to do more than just move people emotionally when they watch one of our films. We do want to do that. We want to make them feel something. But we really want to inspire them to action, to really get up and do something. I feel that I have really not done my job if someone just watches a video and says, that was cool. They click away and go do something else. Really, the goal is to really inspire that viewer to action. That's what we want to do. What's unique about us, too, is we're really more than just a film production company. There's several awesome film production companies in Richmond who I work with and collaborate with as well. But one thing that's unique about us is we kind of stand at this crossroads of filmmaking and digital marketing. And what that means is we create, obviously, films for our businesses, nonprofits, universities, but then we come up with marketing and distribution strategies for the videos we create. I started my company with the firm idea that there is nothing worse than making a great video that sits online and no one sees, which there are a lot of if we're being honest. So that's why I felt that there was this niche need for, man, people to get their videos out there. So what does that look like? We talk about a sharing strategy for your video. We talk about what platforms do you have and what best to kind of use this on. One little stat that I'll give you is that for Facebook, 85% of Facebook videos are watched without sound. Right, 85%. So that means if your video doesn't have captions, you're missing out on a huge opportunity for engagement. And so, but those are the things that we know how to do, is add captions. Those are the tactics we talk about so that you can have that impact and you can reach that customer you're trying to reach. We also offer coaching and consulting to individuals and organizations who really want to learn how to do video in-house and really make video a staple in their marketing strategy. So that's kind of what we're about at Filmspire. End of the day, our goal is to convert viewers into customers. We don't just want to make a pretty little piece of content for you. We want this to be a lead generation tool for your brand and for your business. So that is Filmspire. Here's some of the organizations that we've worked with. As you can see, we've worked with some pretty big staples here in Richmond, from VCU to VCU Health and Bon Secours, to other businesses you would consider probably a startup, small businesses. You know, Hello Bikes, they're pretty well known in Richmond if you know them. They're a kids bicycle manufacturing company, still a couple years old. On the Mark Meals, Mark Thurston is actually here. He's one of my really good friends, and you'll see one of his videos later today. So he's great. You need to get his business card, and you need to get some food from him. So the video will explain everything, so you'll see what that's about. But again, we've worked with really big organizations to small businesses, and they all recognize that story and video are vital to their marketing strategy. So that just gives you an idea for who we have worked with. We also work with a lot of nonprofits, faith-based organizations, and churches as well too. Here's a recent video that we worked on, just to kind of give you an idea for kind of the stories that we like to tell and the films we like to create.
Worked a lot of hours to, put themselves through school and, to help provide for us. And so while they were doing that, there was a lot of people around us sort of helping us get through and teaching us lessons. And I feel like a lot of those people I can look up to, and they took time out from their, busy schedules, and they may not have known the seed that they planted in me, but just like I don't know the seeds that I'll plant. It has always been really important for me to sort of give back in that way, and it genuinely makes me feel good too. My name is Alyssa Wakis, and I'm a physician assistant at BetterMed, and I volunteer with Chester Troop 891 Girl Scouts. And it's really been since I started at BetterMed that I've been able to really intensify my time, because I've been able to work my schedule around events with the Girl Scouts, and that's been really important to me. As they're growing up, there's all kinds of pressures from, you know, the outside world. They don't have that when they come to Girl Scouts. It's just their friends, learning new skills all together, helping each other out, and sort of setting themselves up for later in life. If I can give these girls a little light that they may take with them, that's really important to me. Passion makes us better.
So that's a project I've been working on with BetterMed. They're like a patient first here in Richmond, Virginia. They have a couple locations. One is right near Willow Lawn. That was a really cool piece, just showcasing their culture. I feel like when you watch that video, you have somehow a better innate understanding of what BetterMed values and what they're about. So those are the kind of stories we love to tell, and you'll see some other examples as we kind of go along as well. So let's talk about story. We're going to focus on story first, then we're going to move to video tactics and marketing. But why do I start with story? Is because at the end of the day, your lights, your camera, your microphone, those are just tools to tell a story. And without a story, you lose the ability to really engage with your audience. So I'm going to touch on the value of story and why it works and some of the science behind it. You know, story is one of the most ancient forms of communication. Really, since the beginning of language, since language was created, story was right there. You know, the oldest recorded story, I think, is the Epic of Gilgamesh. You know, if you remember from your 5th grade history class, you're writing in cuneiform on clay tablets. Right there, you have this epic story of Gilgamesh. So there's something ancient about story, but why does it work? The reason why it works is it's really good at helping people digest and get information that really sticks with them, not only in their head, but because that information then connects to their hearts and to their emotions. I recently watched a really, really cool TED Talk on the science of storytelling, where they were studying the brain waves of speakers telling a story and listeners. And they found that the speaker, as they're telling a story, parts of their brain, different parts of their brain start lighting up. But they also found that the listener who's listening to the story, those same parts of the brain of the speaker were also lighting up in the listener as well. They also not only studied just the speaker and the listener, but all of the listeners together. So an audience just like this, they took a baseline of all these listeners and their brainwaves, which were kind of all over the place. But once all of the listeners started listening to the exact same story, they found something incredible. Which was, first, their brainwaves were kind of all over the place, but once they all started listening to the same story, they started to sync up. You see, have you ever, as a business owner, been talking to maybe a potential new customer or an investor, and you're just like, man, I just wish I could take my brain and put it in your brain, and you would just understand what I'm trying to do right here, you know? It's so frustrating. Then they would understand your mission, your values, what you actually offer in your services, instead of confusing you with something else. Well, story does that. It does that. It syncs the brains up. So that's why it works. I could go on and on about this, but we don't have enough time for that. But I hope you understand now a little bit of the science and the value of why story works. I love this quote here. It says, no, adventures first, explanations take such a dreadful time. That's from Lewis Carroll. It's so true though. Like, don't start boring your customers with facts and stats of what you do. Take them on a journey, because it's not only going to give them the information that they need to know about you, because new information is really hard to digest for the brain. It actually takes a lot of work for the brain to understand a new concept, but if told through a story, they're going to get it like that. And does anyone know who Lewis Carroll was?
Author of Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, he wrote Alice in Wonderland. That was his pen name, that's not his real name, but he wrote Alice in Wonderland. So a great storyteller. let's talk about now, and this is where you have this sheet of paper, different elements in storytelling. So what are the different elements that you can find in story? And let's talk about how you can relate those to your brand. A hero. Every great story starts with a hero, right? Once upon a time, there was, a knight in shining armor, or a princess in a castle, whatever it was. There's always a hero in every single story. Now, an important thing to remember here, it says, you are not the hero in your story, in your brand story. I'd love to someone take a stab. So if you're not the hero, who do you think the hero is in your brand's, in your business's story? Who's the hero? Customers, clients, absolutely. That is who it is. That's who the hero is. Here's a boring story. When someone just talks about how great they are, all of their accomplishments, what they do, it's really egotistical. And people can't really relate to that. If you puff yourself up, that's not really relatable. Because people relate when they hear a story of another person, and more importantly, a hero, what's most compelling about a hero is that they have a desire. And the stronger the desire, the more compelling the hero is and that character is. Heroes have a desire at every level, external, internal, and philosophical, right? They need something that they don't have, that they want fulfilled. That's what they want. So you need to think about, for your customer, what is their desire? What is it that they want on not just a physical level, but maybe an emotional level, even a spiritual level. Take it to that level, if you will. But that's who the hero is, and it's got to start there, because that's who your audience is going to relate to the most, is a hero, that character. I'm also going to show, we're going to go through some of these elements as well, and I'm going to show a quick video afterwards too, and breaking this down of how this kind of gets played out as well, so you can have a better example for what we're talking about here. For us at Filmspire, we talk about our clients having our hero, and their desire is to be known, right? My clients want more people to know about their brand, more people to know about what they do. So that's their desire, is to be known. A villain. Yes. A villain. Behind every great hero is a great villain. Do I have any other superhero nerds in here? Please don't let me be the only one. Thank you. I have watched Infinity Wars probably about 1,000 times already. It's great. Everyone loves a great villain, right? There's just something about that character that is just the total antithesis to the hero, and that's what their job is to be that juxtaposition to the hero. What is the hero in your brand story? It's really the conflict. It is the personification of the problem that your customer is experiencing. And I have this principle here, kind of man versus. If you remember from your high school literature classes, there's several different types of conflict, right? Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus society, man versus the spiritual world, whatever that might be. Think about these different conflict types and how do they relate to your brand, your business. I gave this talk a couple months ago to nonprofits, and I gave the example of the Richmond Justice Initiative. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with that, but they help to, they work to stop against human trafficking in Richmond. And so you're talking about man versus man there, right? The human enslavement of other people. And so that's one example of that. One thing to remember, though, about your villain is we don't want to scare people, right? We don't want to use scare tactics. That's wrong of us. We don't want to intimidate, being like, if you don't buy from us, you're going to die. We don't want to paint that scenario. We don't want to be speaking so much doom and gloom. But we have a responsibility to our customers to help them recognize a problem in their life that you may not know about. And what the villain also does is gives conflict to the story, right? A boring story is, it was a perfect world and nothing ever went wrong. No one's going to be engaged by that story. No one's listening to that story. People want to hear the conflict, right? So we have a hero who has a desire, and then one day they're faced with a villain. That's engaging right there. Here's an example of what a villain looks like in marketing and kind of in video, actually. You all should recognize this guy. Right?
On your phone, stuck down here between your seat and your console, playing a little hide and seek. Warmer. Warmer. Up. Boiling. Jackpot. If you've got cut rate car insurance, you could be picking up these charges yourself. So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Did you hear that? Mayhem is everywhere. Right? That puts that little spark of fear in people a little bit. You know, we're not really terrifying people, but, and it's a relatable character. It's funny, but that's how Allstate has done a fantastic job of personifying this idea of mayhem and chaos into this awesome character. And it works. We get it. We relate to it. So think about ways that you can use the villain in your brand story to highlight the problem, right, that your customers face. So, and the answer's up here. If you are not the hero in your story, what's your role? You are the guide in your hero's story. That is your role. So we have a hero who's got a desire, and then one day they're met with a conflict and a villain, and they need help to solve the problem that they have, to defeat the villain. Who's going to do that? Da-da-da-da! You, the guide. You have the game plan. You have the answers and the solutions. That's the role of the guide, is to lift up the customer, right, to the hero of the story, and give them the tools that they need to defeat the villain, right? So guides display two important characteristics: empathy and authority, right? Your customers want to know that you understand what they've been through. They want to know that, hey, I've been there. I was in your shoes. I had the same problem. That's why I started company XYZ. You know, they want to know that you are human and relatable, and that you can understand the pain that they've been going through. That's empathy. But they also want to know that, hey, who are you? Who are you to speak on this topic? Who are you to solve this problem? Why should I trust you? This is a great place to talk about your stats, your resume, in all of this, in the conflict that you're presenting. So that's what the guide is. So far in our story, we've got a hero who has a desire, and then one day they meet a villain, and they have a problem. But with the help of the guide, they defeat the villain and have their desire fulfilled. So that's kind of what we're looking like right now. And then finally, the last story element. There are more story elements than this, but these are like the 4 core ones that I'm giving you today. Is a call to action, right? So if your customer's been following along in your story, right, they see the hero, they relate to the desire, they see the problem they have in the villain, you say you have the solution, and then it just ends, you're leaving the customer without something to do. So you need to give them a call to action. At Filmspire, we talk a lot about this. We try and implement a call to action in every single one of our videos. Maybe it's not always so direct as visit our website at so-and-so or give us a call at whatever, but we talk about calls to actions are really important to have in film. So what's your call to action? What is it you want your customer to do? And there's different calls to actions at different sales funnels as well, and different places in your marketing, but think about what they are. Direct and transitional. It's another way to think about what type of call to action to have. An example is on my website. I have 2 buttons on my home page, which is one is my direct call to action, which is schedule a meeting. So if you click on that button, it links up to my calendar. You can schedule a meeting with me today. But if you're not feeling that, you're a little nervous, you don't know me quite yet, I'm a stranger danger, you can do the transitional call to action, which is, hey, download this free PDF, which is the one that actually you all have in hand today, where I would get your email and you get the free PDF, and that way, oh, I know a little bit more about Filmspire, about Taylor, and they seem like a great company. I think I'd like to work with them, get to know them more. So then maybe they will go back later one day and answer my direct call to action. But again, I can't emphasize the importance of a call to action in your marketing and in your brand efforts. All right, so we've kind of got our story elements here. I'm going to show you a video that I actually made for Mark Thurston, which was so fun. I didn't know he was going to come here today, which is great. So for his company, On the Mark Meals, it's a 1-minute video. It's super short. So I'm going to play the video once through, and then we'll watch it through again, but I'll kind of pause it at different points and kind of show how these things are being played out.
We all live busy lifestyles. Work, kids, working out, church, and volunteer work. Sometimes we need a break. Hi, I'm Mark with On the Mark Meals. By preparing healthy meals, we can help for whatever life throws at you. Whether it's taking care of lunch at work, fueling your workouts, or simply providing a healthy alternative at home, we can take one thing off of your plate. Think about it. No more shopping, cooking, or cleaning. We source the freshest produce, finest organic poultry, grass-fed beef, and fresh seafood to ensure you receive the freshest, best-tasting meal of your day. Ordering is easy. Simply go to our website, choose your meals, select your pickup location, reheat, and enjoy. It's never been easier to eat healthy. Aren't you worth it? Let's get started today. I'd be honored to cook for you and your family.
Awesome. Everyone's hungry now, right? Yeah, exactly. That is Mark Thurston. Please talk to him about his awesome business. Let's walk through this a little bit and talk about what we just talk about some of these different story elements. Let's see if this will work here. All right, I'll just kind of play it from here. That might be a little bit easier.
We all live busy lifestyles. Work, kids, working out, church, and volunteer work. Sometimes we need a break.
Great. A lot happened right there. You maybe didn't even notice it. So first we kind of identify here a little bit by saying kind of like we, right? So we all, so he's talking to you as the audience. And then what does he talk about, right? Like he says, we all live busy lives and we kind of need a break, right? So what's our desire as the audience here? Is some rest, a respite, right? Because he lists out all these things that are happening in our life that are so busy. Who's our villain? It's time, right? We don't have time. My life is so full of things. I don't have the time, right? So in that very short span of 8 seconds, we kind of have identified kind of the hero, the desire, which is to have a break, to provide for myself. That's what kind of seems what it's leading up to. And then our villain is just time. We identify the problem right away. Hey, I don't have time. I'm so busy.
Hi, I'm Mark with On the Mark Meals. By preparing healthy meals, we can help for whatever life throws at you. Whether it's taking care of lunch at work, fueling your workouts, or simply providing a healthy alternative at home, we can take one thing off of your plate.
Right, so right here, boom, we meet Mark, who's the guide in the story, right? And now he's kind of now starting a little bit about talking about, hey, here's how I can solve your problem. You know, whether you're this person fulfilling this persona of a busy mom or an athlete who's really working out, we can kind of meet that need. The rest of the video here,
no more shopping, cooking.
He's identifying some problems you might have.
We source the freshest
now he's
produce,
walking you through his game plan
poultry,
for how he does this.
Beef,
so you learn a little bit more about his business.
To ensure you receive the freshest, best tasting meal.
So revealing your game plan, your creative process.
Ordering is easy. Simply go to our website.
Now we're kind of moving to a call to action here.
Select your
He's
pickup
giving you the
location.
steps by steps to figure out how to solve your problem right away.
It's never been easier to eat healthy. Aren't you worth it? Let's get started today. I'd be honored to cook for you and your family.
Awesome, and just like that. So,
we all live busy lifestyles.
Keep it going, Mark, yeah. So that's an example of kind of like how those are played out. Hopefully that gives you some ideas for what that should look like. I'm going to take a quick pause. We're halfway through. Breathe. Any questions on story elements so far? Anything? We'll take a couple minutes. Let's move on. I'll take more questions at the end. Let's talk about now, this has all been big theory, right? Really theoretical, which I love, but Taylor love it, but how do I make this real? How do I implement this with video? Let's talk about that. So how? Video. Let's talk about the value of video and video trends. I'm going to give you all a couple stats real quick that talk about, I think, the importance of value and kind of the trends in the future towards video. The year 2021, Cisco has projected that more than 80% of all internet traffic will be video by the year 2021. 80% of all internet traffic by 2021. That's not that far away. Second, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. It's bigger than Bing, Yahoo, Ask, if anyone else uses Ask Jeeves anymore, I don't know if they do, and AOL combined. It's bigger than all of them combined. It's owned by Google, which makes it a powerhouse as well. And you're noticing that Google, in its search results, are favoring videos at the top of their search results. So it sounds like people are probably going to Google first to look for something, but then they're going to YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, 3 billion. YouTube processes more than 3 billion searches a month. Not a year, a month. That's how many people are searching for something on YouTube. 135%. Videos on Facebook receive, on average, 135% more organic reach than Facebook photos. It's blowing it out of the water with the content. We're going to talk about that a little bit later too. Just that idea of video over photo. And then the next stat I've got here is 95%. Viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch it in a video, compared to 10% when they read it in a text form. So if you want people to remember what you do and what you're about, show them a video. They have a much greater likelihood of remembering. 88%. I think it's the last one I have yet. 88%. The average user spends 88% more time on a site that has video on it. Everyone wants more people on their website. Everyone wants people to stay on their website longer. Video does that. Those are some powerful statistics. I don't know if that didn't convince you, I don't know what will. Good luck. But video really is the king of content. But we also, at Filmspire, we like to talk about distribution is queen, right? We have to have a strategy with that afterwards too. But as you can see, video is outperforming every other piece of marketing collateral out there. Kind of the future is here for video. You know, people used to think, not super long ago, that like, do I need a website? I don't know. Everyone has a website now, right? If you don't have a website, you are archaic and you're left behind in the dust. Video is getting there. It's almost there right now at this moment. So what? What do I create? How do I do it? Those are kind of the questions that we kind of get a lot now at this point. Let's talk about right now video implementation and a strategy for how to do that. So we're going to talk about tactics. We're going to talk about even equipment and all that kind of stuff. So first thing is like what to create. Well, what do I create? I want to make a video. Well, that could be 1,000 different things. So here's some ideas for y'all. Types of videos. So what's your goal? We mentioned this earlier, dealing with calls to action, right? There are a lot of different types of videos, but here's 3 that you can kind of start with an idea. Brand awareness, engagement, and education. So what's your goal? Is for more people to know about On the Mark meals, just to kind of get out there, and maybe not as concerned with conversions and new customers, but just recognition. That could be a different message. That could be a different strategy for your video. Or is it engagement? Do I want those likes? I want all the shares I can get, all the likes, all the the comments. Is that my goal? How can I make my video that's going to really be geared towards that end result? Or is it education? Are you just talking about informing your customer on something? Are you doing like a tutorial, a how-to, right? These are all different types of content that you can create. So think with those in mind for what's your goal? What do you want the customer to do or to know at the end? Content ideas. All right, here's some specific video ideas that you can create for your business, for your brand. Mission videos. I love, these are kind of a staple at Filmspire. When I have someone who's like, I just want people to know what we do. Mission videos. Great to have right on the homepage of your website so people know about what your mission is and what you're about, what you do. Testimonials. Customer testimonials are so important. In my opinion, they're the most compelling piece of content, right? I love hearing from my CEOs and my presidents and owners of companies, but it gets a little boring when you talk about how great you are. Let's hear stories of impact. That's what I call them, testimonials, right? I want to see how a customer of yours' life has been transformed by your services, and I'm instantly sold like that because I can imagine myself in that person's shoes. Testimonials are great. How-to videos, right? If you sell a good or a service, or you have a platform that people need to know how to use, walk them through it. Do a web tutorial. Unbox something for them. Write product reviews, kind of along those same lines. Explainer videos. Those are great for animation as well. If you have a really high theoretical concept for your business, for your brand, sometimes seeing is better, and animation does a great job of that. Vlogs. Everyone sees Gary Vaynerchuk out there killing it on LinkedIn, on every social media platform it seems. But that's what he does. But he's got millions of followers, right? So maybe not all of these align with your brand or your business. That's fine. Then don't do them. But maybe for some businesses, having a vlog is something that you want. Have a following. Be an influencer, right? And that might be a great strategy for you. Culture videos, sort of like the BetterMed one that we saw, right? We didn't really learn more exactly what BetterMed does, but we have a better understanding of what they value and what their culture's like. So talk about the culture of your company. What are your values, right? What do you guys care about as a team? How do you guys live your life outside of work? Those are great, compelling videos as well. And live videos, everyone knows about live streaming, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. Another type of thing. All these are so different, right? So you say, I want to make a video, but here's some ideas for where you can start. The last thing we talk about is distribution, is then, well, what platform am I going to be on, right? I kind of have 3 big buckets that I put that into, which is social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. Your website as well. How can I house videos on my website? Or if you have an email campaign too. Email click-through rates with videos go way up. They do. So if your email campaigns and opens aren't doing great, try adding a video. Right? And Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all these things also have different tactics that you need to think about, right? For YouTube, if you just upload a video of a testimonial for a customer, might have been great, but you title it testimonial #1, no one's gonna know what that means on YouTube. I'm not gonna watch your video. So we think about titling, because that influences its ranking. We talk about custom thumbnails for your video, that influences its ranking. We talk about captions as well. That helps it go up. The content in the description of the video, all these different things, there are all these different tactics. So you can't, I wish it was that easy, just to upload to all the platforms as is. It takes work, it really does take work to think about my Facebook strategy for this video, my YouTube strategy for this video, my Instagram strategy for this video. And as we know, those platforms change a lot too. So that's kind of a distribution strategy to think through. Let's talk about now, how do I make it, right? How do I make this great video you're talking about, Taylor? Okay, so when I talk about making a video for your company or for your business, I feel like a lot of owners, business owners think of this, right? They think of, oh my gosh, I don't have $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 for a full-scale commercial, for the studio, for the cameraman with the beard, for the drones that are flying everywhere, for the cameras. This camera setup costs at least, if not more, $50,000.
What?
Am I right, Maggie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, more than my Toyota Camrys, if I had 2 of them, which I don't, combined. That's what a lot of people think of. I want to help you realize that you can do it yourself. And it doesn't need to be this expensive, right? You can go this route if you have the budget. Give me a call if you do. But you don't need to do that. And I want to help you have a better understanding of what you can do within your own resources. So, next couple slides are going to be some lists. And I also have I'm on a platform called Kit, which is like the Pinterest for creatives and filmmakers and photographers, where you can go to my Kit and see what's my novice or my webcam options, or what camcorders are great. Well, I have like all these lists of like, hey, you want to know what equipment I use and what I have? You can go see the equipment and click on it, and it links directly to Amazon or B&H Photo, where you can buy those pieces of equipment. So I'll send that out after this at some point, so you can check that out if you have questions. But let's talk about just super basic, kind of like novice video production skills right here. Each of these products right here are like less than 50 bucks. We're talking about a webcam and a mic. And you're good to go. You can start making a video right then and there on your laptop. And may not be the best production, but we know Facebook says that 135% organic creation of photos. It's a video. The content itself is going to outperform photo. So you have nothing to lose. And just start doing that. All you need for a great video is a camera, sound, and light. That's it. That's all you need. You don't want to buy this light, which is less than 50 bucks, which does a lot. I was blown away by how much this little bad boy had capacity for. Stand by a window. You know, it's really easy. But good, clean sound, like these mics that you can put on your iPhone, or this is the blue mic, which is great for plugged into your computer. A lot of people start off podcasting with just this. And they have killer podcasts because they just start here. And just having a tripod for your iPhone, just to keep it steady. There's apps on your phone for video editing software that's super cheap, if not free, that you can do yourself. And right then and there, an iPhone and an iMovie on your Mac. If you have a Mac, it comes on your Mac for free. Right then and there, you've got it set up to start making content. It doesn't need to be the best. Again, have a great message, plan it out ahead of time, and it's going to do great. If you want to bump that scale up a little bit, kind of like more beginner, filmmaker, or kind of doing this for your business, really each of these products here, the most expensive piece of equipment is the camera itself. A cheap DSLR will do an awesome job. And a tripod to keep it steady, and a mic that's set up that goes right into it, and a nice light kit. Each of these products, less than 500 bucks. And you can start making great videos, testimonials, talking about your culture, hosting content for webinars and that kind of stuff with all of these products right here. If you want to bump up to a little bit more than just a free software, you can use Final Cut Pro if you have a Mac, or on Mac as well, Premiere. I'm a big Mac guy. Premiere works also on PCs as well too. So that's what that looks like. And a lot of great filmmakers start there. This is a shoot I did years ago for Busky, and that's basically the setup right here. We've got the DSLR with the audio on the camera right there. We're picking it up, and Elle is killing it right there at Busky. And we made a great short little video with that. And you can make all sorts of great types of content. And I think this video is super easy, super not hard. I think they got 10,000 views on Facebook because of it. It's really not that intimidating. I think the barrier of entry seems so scary, but how do I do it? Just start small. And again, if you want to go up and kind of really beef up and have a production wing of your company, you can think of that. These tools, each of them, I think the most expensive piece is probably the lens here in this one, which is close to $2,000. But an awesome, a good DSLR, a great lens, and external microphones for great sound, for great clean audio, and a great light kit, and you can do a lot of stuff. But again, you can do it. That's what I want you to keep in mind with this. It's not as scary or as intimidating as you think it is. People think that video sometimes is just the man behind the curtain. How does it happen? I don't really get it. It's something magical, which is one of the great things about video, but it's absolutely 100% doable. And for that kind of price point, this is a shoot that I did recently. Very simple, right? We've got one camera, and we've got 3 lights set up and external audio capturing the sound. And that video looked great. It's really not hard. You just learn lighting a little bit and one camera and you're good to go. But I want you to remember, as we're wrapping up here, we're basically right at the very end here, is that all of these things, it's very easy to get caught up in the equipment. I'm a gear guy in many ways, but at the end of the day, these are tools to tell a story. So don't ever forget that story is what you can use, is what you're focusing on. And don't get worried about the most expensive camera, the nicest light or whatever. But again, these are tools to tell a story. And if you don't have a story, no matter how great your equipment is, no one's going to watch your video. I'm going to leave you all with this quote. And we'll take questions after this. I love this quote by Dale Carnegie, which is, "Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy." So I want to inspire each of you to action today, to get out there, start filming, take a dumb selfie video, I don't care, just start doing it. You absolutely can. So I hope you take that with you today. I want to inspire you to action again and do that. So thank you so much for this. It's been great. Thank you.